with Dr. A. Lakshmaya, Scientist G and convener of the advisory group. A warm welcome to all our dignitaries. We will now have the presentation of the flower bouquet to our chief guest. Presentation of the flower bouquet to our director. Presentation of flower bouquet to Dr. A. Lakshmaya. And presentation of flower bouquet to Dr. Banu Prakash Reddy. May I request Dr. G.M. Subbarao, convener, to please join the dignitaries on the dais. Presentation of a flower bouquet to Dr. G.M. Subbarao. Welcome once again to the dignitaries. We will now have our national song, and I request all of you to stand up for the same.
सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरं शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now have the lighting of the lamp by our dignitaries to mark the inauguration of this science festival. Please proceed towards the lighting of the lamp. I now request our director, Dr. Hemlata, chairperson of the National Science Week Festival, to give her welcome address.
A very warm greetings to all of you. Happy to welcome you all to this Science Festival, which is being celebrated as part of the 75th year of independence by Ministry of Culture, and these celebrations are led by Vigyan DST in 75 centers across India. All of you know very well about this. A very warm welcome to all of you, and I am also extending and I'm pleased to welcome the Director General, DRDO, who has spared his valuable time to be with us in this celebration. I am thankful to you, sir, for joining us in this celebration. He is well known for his missiles of development of missiles, indigenous missiles for Mission Shakti, and also is known for some smart anti-airfield weapon. So many other achievements are there about, sir. You will be learning about this very shortly. Thank you very much, sir, once again for sparing your valuable time. I am also extending a very warm welcome to all the dear students, colleagues, scientists from various organizations. This is a very wonderful opportunity for the students to learn and know about what's going on in science across India from different organizations, because here you have the opportunity to interact with scientists from space science, ocean science, defense research, medical science, and also industrial research. I'm sure the scientists also will have a great platform to share their experience and science and their research. And also I'm sure that students will have a very joyful experience. All the best to the students. And all of you know very well, this kind of mammoth festival cannot happen overnight. It needs meticulous planning and a bird's view for details. So for this, we are extremely fortunate to have a team of team of colleagues who are dedicated and led by Dr. Bhanu Prakash and under the able guidance of Dr. Lakshmaya. I'm really thankful to Dr. Bhanu Prakash for making it happen within such a short notice, and also I'm thankful to Dr. Lakshmaya and various other advisors like Dr. J.J. Babu and Dr. Uday Kumar and all my dear colleagues. Each and every one of the colleagues here, scientists as well as technical and also administrative staff, have extended wholehearted support to this program. I congratulate the organizing committee and my very best wishes to all the students and all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I now request Dr. G. Bhanuprakash Reddy, who's the organizing secretary, to share with us about Vigyan Sarvatra Pujyate, the science festival.
Morning. Respected Director, respected Chief Guest, Dr. Narayana Murthy Sir, Director General, Missiles and Strategic Systems from DRDO, my senior colleague Dr. Lakshmaya, and co-convener Dr. Subbarao, and all the staff from NIN, scientific, technical, admin, students, PhD and MSc students, postdocs, and guests from all the sister organizations, and also the volunteers, and voluntary science organizations like representatives from voluntary science organizations like Vigyan Bharati and Jana Vijnana Vedika. Of course, media friends, all forms of media friends. My job here is to just apprise you of this activity in 3 to 5 minutes, as our director rightly mentioned. And you all know that we are celebrating the 75th year of independence in the form of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. As a part of this, Office of Principal Scientific Advisor to PM and also Ministry of Culture, Government of India, in association with Vigyan Prasar. Vigyan Prasar is the wing of DST that disseminates science across all the sections of the society. So in association with Vigyan Prasad, this activity called Science Week Festival is planned and celebrated at 75 locations across the country to mark the 75th year of independence. And Vigyan Prasad has been entrusted this responsibility, and it is the Vigyan Prasad's main framework with which or under which we are all the 75 centers are working, including ours. So, and you all also know that February 28th, importance of February 28th as National Science Day, which has its own significance with respect to the seminal discovery of Raman effect by Dr. Sir C.V. Raman. So, this entire week they decided to celebrate as Science Week in the form of festival. And now, as again we said, to mark the significance of 75th year of independence, this is planned at 75 locations. And though for the significance sake, they said 75 lectures, 75 films, 75 radio talks, etc. But there are more than 75. Except the 75 locations are fixed, but these activities are more than 75. If you take 10 lectures at our center and multiply with 75, it would be 750 lectures all over the country. So that's a magnitude that we are working with. Now, ICMR NIN has been given the responsibility to conduct this activity at Hyderabad as one of the 75 centers. Of course, as one of the 2 centers in Telangana, the other being NIT Warangal. I also want to take a minute of your time to say that Vigyan Prasad runs this activity through different modes. One of the mechanisms that they have taken is under the scope. Scope is expansion of science, communication, promotion and extension activities. So in various languages, particularly the local languages. So we have a big program project called Scope Telugu. The nodal institute is NIT Warangal. So NIT Warangal has been given the responsibility of running the Science Week in both the Telugu states, that is Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So we are having this activity in Hyderabad and Warangal. Of course, in Andhra Pradesh we have 3 centers. Initially it was Vijayawada and Visakhapatnam. Now they also have it at Tirupati. So just to give you an idea of why we are celebrating this Science Week as a festival. So we all celebrate many occasions as festivals, be it cultural festivals, be it seasonal festivals, be it religious festivals. All the festivals, if not all, at least the majority of the festivals have some significance of science. So why not celebrate science itself as a festival is the idea of Vigyan Prasad. And rightly so. I may take a minute of your time to elaborate on this. When I say rightly so, science, why we have to celebrate science as a festival? Because science is a part of our day-to-day life. And also, it is the one that has changed our lives over the years, which you cannot imagine what it used to be about 30 years ago or 40 years ago. It is the science that determines our day-to-day life, it determines our journey, it determines our future. So therefore, we need to recognize this, we need to celebrate this. For the benefit of the students and visitors, I also want to add here, whenever we go to various schools and colleges to highlight the importance of science and encourage them to take science, we say this, science is a part of our life. We cannot be separated from science and technology, we live with it. Then they ask a question, how is that we live with science? So we find it difficult to explain, but I found a way to tell them. Before I say that, I request all of you sitting at the back, if you can occupy the front seats, it would be good, so that we can have the festival atmosphere. So how do I say this? I, particularly for the college and school students, I start like this. Okay, it is with you from the time you get up from your bed, and by the time you go to your bed, and even beyond that. How is that, they ask a question. Then I said, no, if you want to get up at 4:30 or 5 or 5:30, whatever the time, you put an alarm. So how does this alarm or your watch has come? So that is science and technology. And then when you get up, the room is dark. You switch on the light. You put the switch here and light comes there. Then how does the light comes there when you put the switch here? It is the passage of current through the circuit. Basically either switch off the circuit or you switch on the circuit. That's how the light comes or the light gets off. So these are all the things. Then I also extend to that. Okay, once you are done with, you go to brush your teeth. then what is the paste that comes? You will decide what is the composition. It should be antibacterial side or etc. etc. Of course, I am not going to say that uppunda pappunda and chepatledu, but it has to be some anti-germicidal kind of property. So that's again science. Then when you are done with it, you want to take the bath. Once you want to take the bath, if not all of us, many of us would like to take hot water bath or warm water bath. You have to heat the water. How do you heat it? Either you have to use the geyser, you have to use the stove. How does the geyser work? It is basically the resistance of that coil that generates a heat. So we read the science, but we don't relate it to how it works in a day-to-day life, how it is there around us. That is the way science works. When it is that kind of thing, and then I stop here. Of course, I add few more things. Once you are done with your breakfast, you have to go to the school or college. Either you have to take your cycle, your motorcycle, or scooter, or your bus or car. Again, it comes with science and technology. So what I say, if this is the case, why don't you enumerate all your activities from the time you get up to from the time you sleep? Of course, you don't have to worry in between. If you want, you can still. So when that is the importance of science, why don't we really recognize it? That is one part. The other part is, as I said, science changes our life so much so. There are few things I would like to just take a minute of your time. So many things, time does not permit. Let us say the developments in the medical field. About 30-40 years ago, when AIDS has entered into this country, we are all so much afraid. Actually, the AIDS patients, we were almost given it up, that we have abandoned them or they are going to be gone one day or the other. That was the situation. But today, we have wonderful treatment for AIDS. We have wonderful treatment for cancer. Like that, so many. And then I also want to take one example which relates to everyone's experience and my own experience. When I joined this institute in about 20 years ago, I wanted to have a phone connection. Of course, landline connection, not mobile. At that time, I had to wait for 3 to 6 months for a landline connection. Now, I don't think so any one of us, except officers like this, we have landline connections. It has changed so much so. And then these phones are also, I started using my phone first time, I think sometime in 2005 or 6, a small dabba phone. But then now you see, you can't even find that. Now that is an antique piece. With the phase that we are going with the science, then we have to live with it. That is exactly the idea of the Vigyan Prasar, that this current generation should be relating the science not only to their day-to-day life, how it changes our life, and most importantly, this is the point I would like to highlight. Development of every nation depends on the advances it makes in science and technology activities. And about 20-30 years ago, the development aspect used to be basically on the part of economics. Now, economics no more determine the power. It is the knowledge that determines the power. So that is where exactly Vigyan Prasar wants the future generation to be equipped, to be empowered with this science and technology. So, therefore, we all have to be aware of the importance of science and its applications and its use for the future problems, not only for the current problems. We have to anticipate what is going to happen. That's exactly we face the problem with the COVID. But in this context, I also want to suggest all the students here to read a book by our Director General, Dr. Balram Bhargava. The book name is Going Viral, which he has very nicely described how we as a country face the challenge successfully, how we have come out of this. Almost we have come out of this, how we face the challenge with the help of science and technology. The book is entirely about science and technology, how science has helped us to get over this problem or face this problem. So this is what I think Vigyan Prasar basically tries to showcase and encourage, even to educate the common people, but most importantly, college and school students to realize the importance of science and take it up as their career. There is a problem with many of us. If you are not going to take science as your career, you think that it is not my cup of tea. It is not like that. As I said, science is with you, around you, you cannot be separated with you. Therefore, even if you are not going to be a science student, even if you are not going to be a science faculty, even if you are not going to be a scientist or technocrat, it is essential for us to know the importance of science. It is important for us to live with the science. So, In this context, I just want to add one more point with the permission of the director, that what this country has achieved in the last 75 years in the field of science and technology. What are the achievements? And most importantly, the very purpose I believe Vigyan Prasar is doing this is to tell the current generation how our previous generations or the immediate past generations worked under the very, very difficult times. Just before independence or after independence, many of them would not have an infrastructure like this, would not have much money like what we have today. And I also want to tell here, I think this 104 years old institute started in a small room, I guess, in a pasture institute with one table or one chair. So that is the time they come up with the idea of using the science for the welfare of the society. Now we are such a big institute, like we have everything with us. Then what can we do when we have everything? When they could do much better than what we did today under those conditions. So this helps us, this motivates us, and this inspires us to take up the science. If you don't take up, at least realize the importance of it. And the other part is that majority of the science institutes, research institutes who are participating in our show also have played a significant role in the development of the country. And they all have become part of our life. When I say they all have become part of our life, I may not be able to explain how other institutes have become part of our life, but I can take 2 or 3 lines of how NIN has been a part of your lives. Can anyone think for a minute how we are in your lives? It is this institute which has solved the problem of protein energy malnutrition. It is this institute which has provided the solutions to vitamin A blindness. It is this institute which has developed the double fortified salts for tackling the iron deficiency anemia and many other things. And it is this institute's inputs that are playing a major role in your ICDS supplementation in Anganwadis, your MDM in your lunchtime, what should be there in the midday meal program, how much protein should the kids require. So none of you may not be aware. Of course, a few of you may be knowing. You do not know how these institutes are part of your life. So that's exactly Vigyan Prasar wants to showcase this. How the scientists have struggled over the years, over the 75 years. So this is again and again saying that how we are there in your lives. And most importantly, recently NIN has come up with a revised recommendations for nutrient recommendations for populations. This is the information that everyone uses. Based on this, many programs are planned. So we have a stall there telling you how NIN determines your nutrient requirements. And my colleague Lakshmaya probably would add on that. I don't want to preempt him, that all these programs, most importantly, is a department surveys the entire country, saying that what India eats. And based on that, probably he is going to develop what India should eat also. This is the kind of information that these institutes will develop. So if you do not know that what is going on, if you are only concerned about your well-being, I think that's not good for the nation. This is again the idea of Vigyan Prasar's big exercise. With this small background, I once again want all of you to take active part in the show, in the lectures that we have organized, in the expos. There are exciting shows. There's going to be probably a rocket show. There's a NRSA bus showing the navigations and satellite mappings. And DRDO has big stalls. And in this context, I sincerely thank all the colleagues from various institutes of sister organizations like DRDO, ISRO, Department of Atomic Energy, CSIR, DBT, of course our own ICMR. So I really thank them. Within no time they come, and some of them are still putting their stalls in the night at 11 o'clock here for the benefit of you. When I say for the benefit of you, particularly college and school students. Then lastly, I'm thankful to my director for asking me, my colleague Dr. Subbarao, to coordinate this activity. But when I say director has asked us to coordinate, but it is the teamwork, NIN team. Literally everyone shouldered some responsibility or the other. Literally everyone. There's not a single person who is detached from this activity. As just now I was telling, yesterday 11 o'clock, Shobi puts a message saying that this has to be replaced. I think immediately it has been displaced. That's the way that we worked. And then we try to put everything in place, if not everything, for the benefit of you. With this, I I thank once again all of you, particularly my colleagues and my director, and all the departments, scientific, technical, admin, students particularly. They are taking part here to showcase you. Actually, you can interact better with our students because they are of your age. You can ask anything to them, and you can even question them like anything. That helps them to learn. Okay, this is again a benefit for us. When you ask so many questions, if we do not know the answers, we will try to learn and we will come back to you. With this, I thank you once again, and please enjoy the show, enjoy the activity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing about the festival and more. I now request Dr. Lakshmaya, convener of the advisory group, to share his remarks.
Good morning, everyone, and honorable guests and friends and colleagues from all the scientific organizations gathered here. And especially, I am very welcome to all the students, because the students are very, very important to learn what is going on science and technology, and this is the objective of the program. And my colleagues, Dr. Bhanu Prakash and Dr. Hemalata, director, already said several things. But here the important occasion why we are celebrating this science festival week. And Dr. Bhanu Prakash already said that because we are completing 75 years of independence, and that is the reason we are celebrating this entire week. And this Science Day also used to celebrate every year on 28th February. So to honor the Sir C.V. Raman's scientific discovery, that Raman effect. So why every year we are celebrating scientific day? Why we have to celebrate? So this is the celebration because we have to discuss all whatever scientific discoveries, inventions, and all these things to disseminate. And the Prasar Bharat, Vigyan Prasar is already doing this activity because the communication and popularization of science, and this is very, very important because every rural, urban students and young youth should know what is happening in the science, and we have to get their minds also towards research and dedication and scientific innovations, and these are the objective of this program. So here I also again we welcome our chief guest today, Narayana Garu, DRDO DG. And we are very happy to have a very great, eminent personality here. And here the contribution, and Dr. Bhanu Prakash really enlightened how life and science is mixed and how we have to correlate. So everywhere science is there, wherever the living is there, that is where science is required. So that is also again we are emphasizing. So here as a NIN, we have contributed several things for the life of the human being. Because basic thing is, I already said that we have developed RDA, recommended dietary allowance. So that is very, very required, because how much each person has to eat and what are the physiological groups, different physiological groups for less than under 5-year children or less than a year child, and even pregnant, lactating, adolescent age groups, what are the foods are required and what is the nutrient quantity is required, that book describes. How this book is developed, that is also very important. That science is very important in that for development of RDAs itself. Even RDA, if you want to develop RDA or if a nutrient, we have to consider all these scientific evidences, because if you eat something and the nutrient excretion, how much it is excreted through our perspiration, our sweat, and our respiration, all these things also experimentally proved. Based on these things, okay, this nutrient is requirement is this much, we can able to fix. So that is the science application is there every part of our development or innovations and interventions. And here as a NIN, because we are also going to use even a lot of this artificial intelligence also coming into play. And now this measurement, suppose if person is overweight or obesity, how we can measure? We need weight measurement and height measurement. And this manual taking of height and weight measurement, also lot of subjective errors are there. So to avoid that, we are also planning to use artificial intelligence, and a equipment can measure the height and weight. So by using artificial intelligence. So that is the science how we have to utilize. And we have also developed several models, study models. We are recently, we are very thankful our director to permitting to develop a nutrition surveillance system, because in India, nutrition problems, the prevalence of nutrition problems is a big problem. As a developing countries, we have several nutrition challenges are there. So to overcome these nutrition challenges, the nutrition surveillance is very important. So we have on experimental basis, we have developed this nutrition surveillance system 6 states, and we have successfully established and implemented for 5 years. But this there is a need to scale up these centers, and in this we have used a lot of science portals. We have developed a portal, and the real-time data we used to collect in this by using this portal. So like that, so the using science in day-to-day life is very, very important. And as Dr. Bhanuprakash already said that we have also developed the nutrition norms for several supplementary programs. So the ICDS program, MDM program, there is a prescription, diet prescription, and as well as a nutrient prescription for each programs. So this much calories we have to give, this much energy we have to give through this program for according to their age group and physiological status. For pregnant women, this much calories this program should provide. So like that, so we have used the scientific approach and scientific knowledge, and we have developed several programs, as the DFSA is there, IFSA, iron and fortified salt, fortification also developed here, DFS, then fortified, even wheat fortification also developed. So even the rice fortification also developed here in this institute. Now it is scaling up entire nation. The government is want to give everywhere. So that's why the problem of protein energy malnutrition. This is the protein energy malnutrition. Now the clinical forms of protein energy malnutrition, because of these all interventions, we are the prevalence is come down very drastically. Now we cannot see any clinical forms of undernutrition in most of the communities. Even 30 years back, it was a highly prevalent everywhere. So now it is coming down because of our scientific approach and because of our best designed programs. So how this we have achieved? Because using the scientific knowledge, scientific inventions, and we are also thankful to even Honorable Prime Minister. Now he is also encouraging by these incubators, developing incubators, and even made in India, make in India. These are the slogans, and the government is supporting for all these activities to development of science and development of technology. So we are celebrating this event for another week time, and we a lot of these kind of discussions are going on. Lot of scientists and great personalities coming and delivering their lectures, discussions, and we will equipped with a lot of knowledge during this week. So I don't want to tell much about this, because మనం జనరల్గా అనుకో తినే ముందు రుచి ఎందుకు అన్నట్టు. సో మనం ఇంకా ఇలాంటి లెక్చర్స్ చాలా వింటూ ఉంటాము, చాలా ఇన్నోవేషన్స్. ఇప్పుడు మనం వీఆర్ వెయిటింగ్ అవర్ చీఫ్ గెస్ట్ లెక్చర్ ఆల్సో. హీ విల్ ఆల్సో టెల్ సో మెనీ ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ వాట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్ ఇన్ ఇండియా. సో వీ విల్ లర్న్ ఫ్రమ్ హిమ్. And I pray, I request all of you to actively participate in this entire week program. From all activities are there, different posters are there, even brief video programs also there, shows also there here, and you can enjoy and see and discuss and ask questions and clarify yourself. And that is the actual objective of this, and all people also should be motivated towards science and towards research. And we are also thankful for ICMR DG, Director General ICMR, even previous ICMR VM Katoj. He has a very good vision, because most of the medical colleges not participating in research, because they are medical colleges, professors, and they mostly motivated to only curative treatment. But he has a very good vision that, and he developed a MRHRU, from this rural research development organizations. So we have developed almost, he has given almost 20-25 centers are running. In that they are encouraging all medical faculty or even PG students, and everybody should have the opportunity to do some research activities. So that way we have also involved all the students and even junior faculty to motivate the research and development. So that is also going on in ICMR. ICMR has even several schemes also there, even fellow schemes are there. Those who are doing MD students, MD students, or even MBBS students also, there is a junior scholarship schemes also there. So that way ICMR is encouraging for development of science and development of research. So so I request all of you should apply for that schemes, and you will also get opportunity to do a lot of research. And also this occasion also is useful for what are the problems are there, where we have to focus, which area we have to focus on research. So that way also these forums are useful. And so many mentors also you can identify, you can select your mentor and you can take the advice and you go forward, and you will be achieved very significant things in science and technology. There is a lot of ocean of opportunities are there. So thank you for giving this opportunity. And I also congratulate all our colleagues, because giving advice is easy, but implementation is very difficult. So they have nicely arranged this hall also, and they everywhere even posters and beautifully arranged. So it is very nice, and you can enjoy. I sure you will enjoy all this setup and organization. And I'm happy that once again I'm very thankful for giving this opportunity, and wish you all the best, and wish you, and the program will be definitely successful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now have the inaugural address by our chief guest, and before I invite sir for the inaugural address, I would like to very briefly introduce our chief guest. Dr. Narayan Murthy is a distinguished scientist, Director General Missiles and Strategic System at DRDO, Hyderabad. He is the Chief Architect of Advanced Onboard Computer Technologies for Missile Systems and other defense applications. His sustained contribution and technology leadership over the last 3 decades has been instrumental in making India self-reliant in advanced real-time embedded computers and other avionics technologies. He led the design and development of advanced avionics for Mission Shakti, India's first anti-satellite missile test, ASAT, and long-range missile Agni 5. Thus elevating India into a league of select nations and strengthening indigenous defense capabilities. Dr. Murthy has been awarded or conferred with numerous awards for his distinguished contributions, including the Agni Award for Excellence in Self-Reliance, DRDO Scientist of the Year Award, Path-Breaking Research, Outstanding Technology Development Award, and DRDO Performance Excellence Award. This is a very brief bio of Sir. So may I now request you to come and deliver the inaugural lecture.
Good morning to all of you. Dr. Hemlata, Director NIN, Dr. Bhanu Prakash Reddy, Dr. Lakshmaya, Dr. Subbarao, distinguished guests, invitees, the scientists, and all the employees of NIN, the students, media, and ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you, and also my warm greetings and best compliments to all of you on the occasion of the Science Week being celebrated on the account of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of independence being celebrated throughout this year across the country. In fact, I think that as the Dr. Bhanu Prakash Reddy was telling about this Science Week being planned and coordinated by Office of the PSA, Ministry of Culture, Department of Science and Technology, planned the week-long activities. There are around 75 locations, I think, as has been told, in the form of the short films, exhibitions, eminent talks, poster sessions, like that. I think so many activities in the multiples of 75 being planned. In fact, it is almost a very huge exercise, being very well coordinated, and being the NIN, the 100 years old institution as part of ICMR, is also chosen as one of the location being held this Science Week, and I am very much privileged to be here as chief guest on this occasion. So I would like to thank organizers for inviting me here. Basically, this I have in fact similar events being planned all over the year country from last Independence Day throughout the year. I think some of the events I just want to recapitulate. In November, on the birth anniversary of Rani Jhansi Lakshmibai, the Rashtra Raksha Samparan Parva, basically on the occasion of birth anniversary of Rani Lakshmibai, has been celebrated Jhansi by MOD. I think by similar exhibitions displaying all MOD weapon systems, DRDO products. In fact, has been inaugurated by Honorable PM, and RM was also present. And in fact, it has we have done showcased a lot of products and DRDO products there, and it was a very good success, and a lot of basic participation from the public happened. And during the December 13th to 19th, in fact, DRDO, the MOD conducted an iconic week, particularly in the form of displaying so many field activities, particularly DRDO. In fact, that 13th to 19th, almost every day we have done one missile fire testing, particularly from the Avar cluster. That's how I think this basically this type of events, particularly now as part of this Science Week, being conducted all over across 75 locations. This basically gives to the young generation a lot of insight into what is happening in the country and with respect to this science and technology and all those things. As Dr. Bhanu Prakash Reddy was telling about how we are living, the science and technology has become a part of life, our day-to-day lives. In fact, he has rightly pointed out. So basically any nation's progress, particularly, is completely dependent on the advances in the science and technology. So, in fact, we have to put concerted efforts to catch up with the latest innovations in science and technology. In fact, when I think if I recapitulate, when I joined DRDO in sometime in 86, 87, I think young these the students may not be knowing it. The PC right now we are operate whatever PC at that time we used to operate at 5 megahertz or 8 megahertz. It basically some sort of word processor or some document we used to do, and at that time I think maybe you know about simulations, model based simulations, particularly to run a program and see that how the the system is performing by modeling. At that time, if you submit to the computer, I think we used to wait for 1 hour to see the output. And if you can, at that time, if you do a real-time simulation, it used to be very fast. It means a system is running in real time. At that time, with that, it was a great relief to see the result coming almost in real time. But as I think all of us know that the technology has become very much changes, and with respect to such a faster pace, I think most all of you know the chip density has become more and more, and the frequency of operation become more and more, and now we are talking about gigahertz and multi-processing systems and multi-core processors, GPUs, and all those things. Now, if you see the normal simulation, just like that it comes, whereas if you see the real-time simulation, you see where it's going very slow. I think that's how the technology has changed. And concurrently, I think if you see communication revolution happened, particularly I think when maybe 86, 87, the landlines also was a scare. I mean, getting a landline phone connection was a lot of queue used to be there, and now I think over the years the communication revolution happened, particularly in the form of mobile communications or the internet or the high-speed 5G, 4G, and whatever we are talking about. In fact, all these things, particularly the semiconductor revolution, particularly with respect to the shrinkage of sizes, increase in computation power, the mobile communications with high-speed bandwidths, and the internet revolution, and all those things, I think gave us a tremendous opportunity to innovate so many products. I think if you see the products, I think I'm only saying these are the enablers for these type of products. Today we are seeing out-of-box thinking from the entrepreneurs, particularly if you see the e-commerce products, mobile phones. These are all very some sort of out-of-box innovations which became and you are seeing the result. And in fact, similarly, I think because I am from the missile systems, when I joined, Dr. Kalam was the director of DRDL, and at that time he started the IGMDP program with the 5 missile systems as a program, particularly surface-to-air missiles, surface-to-surface missile, like that, anti-tank missiles and all. But at that time we are still learners, and how to make the systems when a lot of depend on the imports. In the industry also coming up slowly. But I think over the years, now I think I can confidently say that we are able to make any kind of missile system, maybe within a span of 3 to 4 years. I think that way confidently I can say. I think this is all because of the learning happened over the years, and a lot of support from the government, and also the industry also ecosystem has come up. It is all because the continuous nurturing of the updation of knowledge. And similarly, we have done very much very well in particularly in the space technologies, atomic energy, and all other pharma industry. So many things. I think we have done now that we have seen a lot of changes in technology, and a long way to go. And if you see presently the disruptive technologies, what we are talking about, Industry 4.0 now, we are saying, particularly with respect to, if you see the artificial intelligence and machine learning applications being the quantum computing or the robotics. Particularly robotics are playing a very major role equal in civilian and defense applications, particularly in the medical robotics. I think we are able to see, and there is still a beginning and long way to go, particularly in the medical robotics. And nowadays the 3D printing or additive manufacturing. In fact, now the battery technology has become so powerful that the electric vehicles, I think, now more or less replaces in due course the fossil fuel based vehicles. I think that's how the technology has matured, and now you see the drones. I think wherever earlier it was a means nobody thought that this will, and drones are being used in multiple applications, even civilian and also in military applications. You can see that how in the Saudi basically the oil refinery got attacked by a drone, some simple almost a very low cost drone. I think that's how this being used in multiple applications, and anti-drone technologies are being, a lot of countries are working, in India is also working. I think these are all the disruptive technologies which because of the advance in technology, it has become matured, and in fact I think these type of things which the whatever events we are now organizing, particularly as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, definitely it will help our young students, the youth, particularly to get insight into this technology domain and get their career. I think it will definitely ignite their minds to work on the latest innovations of science and technology. And in fact, Government of India is coming up with so many policy changes, particularly with respect to encourage industry, startups. I think the Make in India, particularly in the defense technology, we are almost, I think we are major importers of the weapon systems. At the same time now, I think the Honorable PM has made a slogan that Make in India. I think that we have to be self-reliant, particularly in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, where I think if you are able to indigenize all these things and make everything in India, I think that way you will be able to become self-reliant, and we will not depend on the imported technologies particularly. And this basically is possible only the manufacturing, the R&D should be stronger, and SNT and R&D institutes from the academia, industry, and the R&D technological institutes like DRDO, CSIR, DST, and others should be strong towards the making the products, and equally with industry. The manufacturing base has to improve, and the complete advance, the material technology also we have to work on that. And this type of things, I think, definitely will make India more self-reliant, and particularly a lot of policy initiatives as being, as I told, particularly if you take maybe the startup encouragements by the Government of India, particularly in the defense. I think maybe I will be able to say more clearly, because we have a technology development fund to encourage the industries to take up the problems which where we are offering to the industry, particularly where the industry can take up, we are giving to the industry so that they can give a product solution. Similarly, the encourage startups by IDEX or the Dare to Dream contest of DRDO. I think that's how we are giving a lot of fund as well as the awards to the startup industry. I think this is how the encouragement to the industry, particularly the entrepreneurships being encouraged throughout the India. I think we are seeing a lot of new technology initiatives from the startup entrepreneurs are coming up, and I think we see a huge growth in this domain. And I think the young students, I think, should work in all these fields too, and choose their career based on their passion. I think this way, I think, continuous this type of programs, the exhibitions, periodically, I think not only throughout this 7th Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, but I think in future also we should be able to do it periodically, so that the young generation will get motivated by this what are the advances being in the technology and also within India, and choose their, they can contribute to the nation building and make India Atmanirbhar Bharat. I think the excellent arrangements, I think, as told by Dr. Bhanu Prakash Reddy, the complete the year-long, this week-long programs of throughout the 75 locations, in particular in NIN, the eminent lectures by, I think I've gone through the program. It is around 8 eminent talks and short films, exhibitions, and all those things being organized very well. And I think by not only by NIN but all the scientific institutions in Hyderabad, and similarly we are also participating DRDO here and also in Vijayawada as part of this Science Week. So I think I strongly feel that this program will be a grand success, and my best wishes to the director of NIN and all the organizers for this excellent arrangements, and I sincerely feel that this will be a grand success, and then definitely I feel that this will greatly benefit the particularly the younger generation in knowing the latest in advance in the science and technology innovations in various fields, whatever now being showcased. And I think this is a long way to go, and I think definitely this type of programs and continuous updations in science and technology will definitely make India Atmanirbhar Bharat. And once again, thank the organizers for inviting me here, and all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You have both taken us down the history of technology as well as how it has evolved in the current scenario. Thank you once again, sir. We will now have the felicitation for our chief guest. And I request our director, madam, to felicitate our chief guest. With a shawl and a memento. Now request Dr. Bhanu Prakash sir to felicitate our director, madam. I now request Director Madam to felicitate Dr. Lakshmaya sir. I request Dr. Shobhi to please come and felicitate Dr. Bhanu Prakash sir. and Dr. Subbarao. Dr. Shobha. Thank you. I now request Dr. Subbarao. Sorry.
Before Dr. Subbarao proposes formal vote of thanks, I just want to say a couple of things. Well, I did not want to say in the beginning. For this entire exercise, Director has given freedom to all of us, and she has literally monitored every activity of this, starting from the even how we are organizing the inauguration and the order of it. And as I said, all of us are involved means starting from the director to everyone, and there's one person who steered this entire activity, that is Dr. J.J. Babu. And another thing, yeah, please a big to madam, and another thing, Vigyan Prasad has given 10 lakhs to this activity, but now our rough estimate is 25 lakhs. So director is kind enough to support everything. She said no to anything. You just whatever you plan, go ahead. Thank you very much, madam.
Request Dr. Subbarao to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning to the dignitaries of the dais. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks, and I know this is the most boring part of the event, but it is a must that it is to be done. I'll say these are words of thanks, not vote of thanks. Thank you so much. We can't thank everyone, so much that for the contributions that they've done. However, as we all know, the ancient Indian dictum says, Swagruhe pujyate murkaha, swagrame pujyate prabhu, swadeshe pujyate raja, vidwan sarvatra pujyate. A man, however foolish he is, he may be respected at his home. A village head is respected in his own village. A king also is respected in his own country. But it's the vidwan, the learned man, who's respected everywhere in the world. It is that vidwan, it is taken on that this particular theme is done. It is Vigyan Sarvatra Pujyate. Today, it is not just enough to be vidwan, you have to be Vigyan Vidwan. So, all the people sitting in this auditorium are the people who are vidwans, who have an aspiration to become Vaigyanics, or who want to learn Vigyan more and more. So, incredible Lord, thank you very much for coming here, and I thank you all of you for being here. By way of formality, we would definitely thank the Ministry of Culture, the Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India, who are spearheading this entire event in 75 locations, as has been said by many people. We thank them for choosing NIN as one of those 75 locations. It's a great honor for NIN, as everyone has said already. And we are only the institute, or maybe there is one more institute in ICMR fraternity to do this from entire country. And that's a great privilege for us. And I will fail in my duties if I don't thank Vigyan Prasad for ably steering this entire activity. Vigyan Prasad is an autonomous body under the DST, which does science communication, and they are leading this entire activity from the forefront, and each location has been taken. And in Telugu states, as Dr. Bhanu has already said, it is NIT Warangal, and NIT Warangal has been helping, especially Professor Lakshma Reddy, Professor Ramchandraya, and also Professor Reddy, who is here in the audience. They have been ably guiding us from various aspects of this. And I will also thank ICMR and DG ICMR, who have been supporting all through. But the large chunk of our thanks goes to our director. As Dr. Bhanu has already said, in every aspect of the arrangement, she took personal interest, even visited every location of the arrangement, and then seen that everything is in place. And I'll be failing in my duties. It's only Bhanu and I perhaps are only representing all the 250 people who have worked day and night all through in everything, be it arranging water, to making the stalls, to getting the posters, to arranging the speakers and then, food, everything, security and other things, extraordinary work. And I'm very proud of my family, that is NIN family. And I think all of us deserve a big round of applause. It's an applause for yourself. You applaud for all your colleagues who have contributed to this, and we are doing this. And thanks are also due to all the participating organizations, DRDO, ISRO, CSIR, INCOIS, Ministry of Environmental Sciences, Vigyan Bharati, Janavigyan, Vedika, the school teachers who have voluntarily come forward to demonstrate some science experiments that they do in rural schools on their own accord. They have also been given stalls here, and it's an incredible effort by them. And they are the real Vidwans and Vigyans who are taking this forward everywhere. And I will be failing in my duties if I don't thank my senior colleague, Dr. Bhanu Prakash. There were many criticisms to Dr. Bhanu Prakash and me saying that how can a senior be a convener and junior be an organizing, a senior be an organizing secretary and senior be a convener. This was just the format and template that has been given by DST, and Dr. Bhanu has just followed it. And at no point of time did he ever, or our director ever, make us feel that we are any lesser than anyone, and that's the kind of freedom that has been given. And thank you for leadership of both of you for that incredible effort. And I thank each person standing here, Dr. Babu, the electrical committee headed by Dr. Uday, Dr. Lakshmaya, and Dr. Padmaja, and Dr. Shobhi, and Satish, and our admin staff. I can't name each and every one. These are 250 great soldiers. They are the heroes. If time and place permits, all of them have to be on the dais and we have to be sitting down. It is for them. Please give them a big round of applause. And I'll be failing in my duties if I don't thank the NGOs which are mobilizing so many schools and colleges for these 6 days of activities. There are going to be many schools, many students, many teachers who are going to witness this activity. Today it is open for NIN staff families. And media, especially my media friends, thank you very much for covering this event. And thanks for all the others whom I have left out. It is only incidental, it is not deliberate that I am missing out because I can't recollect all the names. You are all extraordinary who have been here, and special thanks to our local Vibha team and Janavigyan Vedika team for their excellent support. And finally, one message that this festival gives everyone is whether you are interested in the science of art or the art of science, all that you have to develop for the country is the heart for millions. Please enjoy every bit of our science. Those who do not know the history of the country cannot learn science better. Those who do not know the history of science cannot learn the science itself better. So please make the best use of this. Thank you very much. Thanks one and all. Sorry if I've missed out any names. I'm so overwhelmed that I'm not getting any words to speak and thank everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Subbarao. With this, we come to a close of the inaugural function. Let us please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे
Thank you and Jai Hind. We will now proceed to the inauguration of the expo. Right? After a 5-minute tea break. Audience, we'll now have the release of the tricolor balloons by our dignitaries, please participate. Thank you.
నేను చెప్తా మళ్ళీ